Hey guys, so today I want to go over this little theory I've had about for honkai start run, and it has to do with the light cones and the Trailblazer himself or herself, I guess, depending on what you play as. This is my personal thing. So this is the best place to look at it, but we're just very exploring the cinematic universe. So these are what I'm talking about. Also this, I already have them though. Oh, it's these six light cones. This one, all the 5 stars as you can see. And these are unique because if you go into the data bank, with all the light cones that kind of apply to each character, you'll notice that of course, and they look in the characters there. You will most likely eventually notice that each character has a as if they're each 5-star character, and usually most 4-star characters all have their own signature light cone. Like for example, in Byron Lune's signature light cone is like brighter than the sun, and it goes in the Milky Way. Hey, but then you get to and so on. Like for example, for example, this is Wells, this is Kafka. Usually the nice people have their face on it. But there are a few unique ones that don't belong to any character, like I said, like this one, for example, on the Fall of an Eon. This one doesn't belong to any character, but these extra light cones, they're unique in the fact of the description. Their description is like, when they speak of aeons in the text, it was capitalized, like, the plural is they, them, but they capitalize it. And and aside from, I think, like, one, and they all have the similarity in description that they talk about the eons. And so my theory at well, like I said, there's no other characters really could belong to that don't already have signature light cones, except one and another. Actually, but just a sec, just in case I could be wrong. Let me make sure. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well, and these two characters are, of course, the trail. The first one is March 7th. You might be thinking March 7th on this haven't already come had a like on first day of your life, I think, if I remember correctly. But no, because she doesn't have a signature light cone for her hunt version. Yeah, she doesn't have one for the version of her her hunt class has. And the other one is, of course, the Trailblazer. I call him Luther because that's my name for him. Is and he fits because if you go into, of course, the list, like as you can see, there's one for the hunt, one for preservation, one for ability, one for irrigation, one for remembrance, and one for destruction, which I already have. And I don't have all of them, so I can't actually kind of put them in. But for example, destruction. Luther doesn't have a 5-star signature light cone to himself for destruction, as we all know. Or does he? What if, for example, the extra light cones, like maybe, for example, the destruction one goes with Luther's destruction class. And then if you, of course, go to preservation, go back to the list. This is one of the extra ones that, you can see is for preservation, texture of memories. Because you can see this one also has that weird description of day. And the only one that doesn't is I think, one for the hunt. Wait, no, I think it's this one. Yeah, this is the only one for night. But it's, yeah, and as you, let's say, and let's say the destruction one I just showed you for the destruction class, and the preservation is for the preservation class. And of course, perhaps, then of course perhaps maybe there's Remembrance one here. See, the description is also the same. This only has one mention of they, but it is there. Maybe this one goes with Remembrance keys. Yes, and perhaps this one goes with March 7th's Hunt class, but I don't think that would work with her because March 7th is a 4-star. She would most likely. I'm pretty sure she already has her own 4-star or signature for her Hunt class. So my prediction is my theory is that there are 3 paths of 5-star extra light cones yet to have a character, or as my theory, as what I'm thinking, maybe Luther in the future has. So I might theorize that that the next 3, most likely the next 3 paths Luther will gain will be nihility, erudition, and the hunt. And the only thing that actually kind of does throw a wrench is something that Luther already has in his harmony class. Because as you can see, the only class that Luther already has doesn't being harmony doesn't have a specific 5-star light cone with it yet. As you can see, there's one for hunt, preservation, nihility, erudition, remembrance, destruction, but nothing for the hunt. Nothing for the hunt. And I mean harmony. Yeah, if you go to the data bank, it's not shown on the store either. There's no extra. Look, there's 6 characters for the harmony. Tribby, I think this one is Sunday, Robin, Sparkle, Ron May, and Veronia. And then of course we go into characters, and remember, we're only talking about 5 stars here. And then we go into it, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6, but there's only 5. Other than Luther's harmony class, there's of course 6 characters for those 6 life codes. But Luther is the anomaly. And that's why that's the only mention that gets thrown into my theory, because his harmony class doesn't have a light cone yet, but all the others have one for the actual light cones, and possibly one of the classes that may yet come. But anyway, this is a thought I've been having for a while, because for example, Genshin Impact is something quite like this before. Because if you don't know, in Genshin Impact, I can't wait to talk about it, it'll take too long. But the level up materials, but specific, like past, there's in the game, of course, there's level up materials related to the elements you get for each character. It's kind of like past and Genshin. You don't know play the game. But the thing was, the game, of course, like this one came out like kind of like episodically. It's doing this update with new story parts of the story added eventually. I'm trying to explain this. But with each region that came out, there was a new element. And with new element came new level up materials for those characters. Characters. But in the game, before sometimes you would have characters that would use the element that would represent a region that hasn't come out yet. And usually the level materials have a little bit of description, something I think related to. I don't remember what they're related to. But what would happen is before the region would come out, the description would be intentionally censored in places. Kind of like reactive with black lines across the words.
Nice.
Before Natland came out, description for the red level of materials, that's the ones where they already have the materials, they already have the materials ready to go. The materials being light cones for the character class, but the character class hasn't yet been released. For it to go with. At least not yet. That's what I'm theorizing. Again, the only wrench in my plan is that the only light cone that has it is that there's only one light cone there's one light cone being one that would appear on the extra class that was never implemented, which is weird. And that's all.
Nice.
But yeah, that's everything I want to say. It's just something I've been thinking about a lot recently. It makes too much sense if you think about it. There's these extra 5-star light cones that should belong to characters, but don't have a character to belong to, except for one character who doesn't have any 5-star light cones to himself or herself, but does have a lot of extra classes that can each use one of these extra light cones. See what I mean? Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while. I want to get it out there because I'm not sure if people really thought about it that much. So yeah.